because I paced myself for Puppet Master. This one, where it's a straight blitzkrieg shot. Yep. Sorry, guys.
Were you playing this? Is this on?
I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
No one's watching. Who cares?
50 million.
I mean, we get views, but it's always after the fact.
Always after the fact.
One time we're like, no one watches this.
Most people ever watch this.
Oh, you look very vibrant. Red.
Nah, I don't know what it is with this. I think it's
He
the
chose
lighting.
red. He wants.
Well, technically, my hat's supposed to be
It's
red
supposed to be
anyway.
red anyways.
But
I'm saying your shirt.
Yeah, no, I picked a very vibrant shirt today. This is a Mandy shirt from a great movie.
Even your 40s.
That's not on the wheel.
Huh?
Your 40s glowing.
Yeah, I don't know what. I think it's the lighting.
It's the lighting. It's that light. That light's not usually on.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think last time that he was here, I think the light was still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
It's
for Puppet
supposed-
Master.
yeah.
It was still here
Yeah.
before we moved it up
You were
there.
here after Puppet Master.
And it wasn't on. I think not that one. There was another light on, but it wasn't that one. It was,
Yeah, no,
that's
this
what
is very
changes the-
vibrant. Either that or,
changes the ambience.
but either way. All right, so what's up to the no one that's watching us? But
It's someone named no one.
I mean, sometimes we get random
feel
people pop in.
heard.
Yeah, but it's whatever. And also, we're an hour late, by the way, because I said we were going to go on 8. So,
9.
so tonight we're going to be reviewing a couple movies. One, we're going to do a brief review of Nuke 'Em High from another Tromaville movie from Lloyd Kaufman. And then we're going to also be doing Moonfall, which is our main review. And then we're going to probably use that in between to kick off the debate. Which movies are worst, Cringe or Boring? Like, and we'll get into that in a minute, but let's get into Nuke 'Em High real quick. So we flipped a coin the last time. If anyone stayed long enough to see us pick the next movie, we flipped a coin, and I put on one side Moonfall, and the other side was going to be Nuke 'Em High because we were on a Tromaville kick after Toxic Avenger. Please check that review out. It was stupid.
It's good, but terrible.
Oh,
Please
man.
make it worth it.
Review is good. Movies are terrible.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. That's a big push for cringe movies on that debate. But I was like, all right, let's pick Nuke 'Em High because that was the other thing when I did the research for Toxic Avenger. That's the next movie that everyone's like, that is the next big Tromaville movie, or the next flagship movie for Tromaville. And so we flipped and we got Nuke 'Em High.
Come on.
And me and Carl watched it immediately after the review we did for Toxic Avenger, and I don't know what it was.
Just
Maybe
the first one.
Yeah, just the first one, because we were going to do the series. And then I decided in the middle of watching the second movie, we can't do this. Like, I'm sorry. It's so fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like,
painfully so.
Which I guess, and I was trying to say before that maybe just because we were off the cusp of Toxic Avenger, where you saw all that outrageous shit that they put in that, even in the second and third one, which are very benign compared to 1 and 4.
Yeah.
But we watch it and we're just like, wow, there is nothing fucking happening. The whole plot of it is that there is a high school next to a nuclear power plant. The nuclear power plant leaks because it's in Jersey and they suck there apparently.
And they don't care at all.
Say less.
Say less.
Literally,
You
like,
drive into Jersey, you smell the nuke.
it's literally down the block from high school. This power plant
And then there's a leak that you can see coming up from the ground. And
into the plant.
Yeah, and apparently the plot is, because I had to look up the plot because I didn't really even get it. So is that because of this leak, it starts changing some of the students in Nuke 'Em High into basically hooligans that dress like Schumacher villains from the Batman series.
They just like, what's the Mad Max?
Yes, that's it, Mad Max.
It's like Mad Maxian type dystopian people that go crazy and just completely give in to their ids, basically.
Yeah, and but nothing really comes up because it's not like they're mutating. It's not
really,
like they're
those first people.
It's not like their behavior, even for high school bullies, is excessive. The closest thing I'll say, they're like Stephen King bullies, where they're just a little over the top, or like they'll say, "We'll kill you," and then actually try and kill you. But it's like watching this, and I think Carl, we made this. It's like watching just a regular teen movie.
Yeah. After we see the like nuclear weed and nuclear like stuff, and
there is nuclear weed.
Whoa. Well, I feel like that's a no-brainer. Someone should have
made a product after the
like Nuke 'Em OG or something.
Well, because of them smoking nuclear weed. But I mean, Carl, you were saying before.
No, it's it starts with the power plant, and they're like, "Oh, we got to shut it down." But the the foreman of the power plant's like, no, we're not going to shut it down. He does not give a crap.
No.
And we thought it was the mayor. I don't know if it is the mayor from Toxie.
I
It's the
think
same guy.
I know it's the mayor from
a
the
lot
first
of the
Toxie.
same actors come back.
Yeah, it's a Tromaville movie.
So you kind of get confused because apparently it still takes place in the same universe too.
Yeah,
which makes it more confusing.
Because apparently I think Toxic Avenger does make an appearance in 2 or 3.
Yeah, we didn't even get past.
No, we're not doing that. No.
So
Maybe
they don't shut it down. Runoff from the plant goes into their weed supply. They smoke it. And you even see like the weed is glowing, and
while they're smoking,
it, there's no alarm to them for this. And then we meet, I get protagonist, main character. I don't even know because they do nothing.
No, they're the average there. Like that goody two shoes popular couple, and then they're obnoxious friends that dress like retired ska men, and like. They're just and basically at that point it's like, okay, so they smoked the nuclear weed,
yes.
And now we have to. I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of body horror and stuff, and we do get that somewhat. So they have a dream where the girl becomes like super pregnant with kind of like, I think the best way to compare it, have you ever seen Species?
Yes.
It's kind of like that,
like overnight pregnancy. But we'll get to that because this is what Oscars. They go to a party. And like you said, the main characters are Letterman Jock, his girlfriend, the other girl, and her
goofy ska
guy, and then these other 2 weirdos that are somehow in their friend clique.
Mm-hmm. And the friend clique doesn't make sense, by the way.
It's very weird. So they go to this party. It's a college party. It's the Trauma High party, I guess.
Yeah, the Trauma High party, which, by the way, has like a real 80s band that was popular at the time
playing.
And also, so it's a high school though, but yet
they go to the college.
Yeah, that was it. Okay, I was about to say because I'm like, this feels more like a college. And then the second movie, they actually say they turned it into more of a college. Yeah, but it's still called Nukem High for some reason.
So those kids sneak off to the college party. So of course, crazy stuff happening, and the protagonists are like reserved, like, and it's like, no, just chill, just smoke this. So that's when you see the glowing weed, and it's like we see everyone smoke it, but only 2 people are really affected by it. The other people don't really have any like because
I was waiting for like the friends to like melt
or go
or something.
Psycho or something. No, it's just Letterman guy and his girlfriends just start getting super horny and just run upstairs into the bedroom and just start going at it.
Yeah, and
what
then
makes it even creepier is then the 2 goofball friends come up and
goofs,
just watch them going at it.
Yeah, they're just watching them fuck. Mike's on the corner over here, and they're just watching them fuck. Yeah. And then
so it makes you horny or turns you into a voyeur.
Yes.
Also, I wanted to comment: if you saw glowing weed, you would smoke it.
Well, Oscar,
I thought you literally were going to say you wouldn't smoke that. I'm like, no, I know you would smoke it, Oscar. It's like, you would smoke that, Oscar.
If someone opened a bag and it was glowing, you'd be like,
it's literally like, and they're like, and then just give it to the next person, but it only affects those.
And by the way, and then after this point, I think they have the dreams, right? They go into a dream sequence between the guy and the girl, where the girl, like I was saying before, turns into the overnight pregnancy thing, and then the guy grows a fucking Washington Monument. Yes, Carl was calling this, by the way, while we were watching this.
Because we see the girl first, and then it's the guy's like, what, he's going to grow a giant 2-foot dog? And then as seconds after I say that, the sheets start pitching a tent on the wall.
And it just becomes this giant fucking dick under the sheets.
Right under the sheets like this.
And then I go, I bet he's watch, he's going to grow tits too now. And then, like, out of nowhere, just one side of his pec starts growing a giant tit.
Like, the movie hurt us. The movie hurt us and answers the call. Like, I got you guys.
So this is what you want.
So he starts acting weird, and then he wakes up and he's fine. So he's like,
it was a dream sequence. It wasn't even part of the actual continuity of the movie. So, and by the way, that's it.
We
get, there's a little bit, but you get nothing really.
Bullies later.
But here's the thing, between that and then the very next thing that happens, it's just
after that, it's just regular high school
filler that you would see in like the CW or something, where they're just talking about relationships and like bullies
and then out of nowhere, then they accosted someone in the alley, and he hulks out on them
Oh yeah. By the way, yeah, no, the jock boyfriend, like you're saying, he becomes like this Hulk monster where he's just oozing out of his face,
like dripping nuclear waste out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Head pulsating, and he has Hulk strength.
Yeah, and he beats the shit out of these bullies.
Does he kill them? No, he doesn't kill them.
No, I don't think so. He just beats the shit out of them. I'm pretty sure he just severely injures them, but he doesn't kill them.
Because no, they come back, and then he reverts back. But then the girlfriend, she's having problems because her stomach is writhing, and so she runs to the bathroom to try, and then she has like I won't even say pregnancy.
No, because it's almost like a reverse Aliens, where it's like instead of chest bursting, the thing kind of like bulges out of her throat, and she throws it up into the toilet, and it's like this tadpole
eel thing that she doesn't even flush. I think someone else flushes.
Oh yeah, she left it, and someone comes in, sees or something, and just flushes it.
Yeah. So it goes into the pipes, and then goes into the toxic barrel that's underneath the school.
Because there's toxic barrels in the school, in the basement. It wasn't called that in the movie. It's just the movie, and then they write on the thing "Nuke 'em High" at the end of it. Because that's what kids do. They graffiti their school signs.
Because I think they have the plant people, like the scientists, like
they're scanning through because of the leak.
Because of the leak. And this one guy, the best scene in the movie, he sees an open barrel where her child tadpole mutant thing is, and he's like, it's an open barrel, and he drops his gas mask into the barrel. He's like, oh crap, I gotta go get this. So he just puts his hand into the
not even really covered. He like rolls up the covering actually.
He basically rolls up his sleeve
and dips his hand in the toxic waste to get this gas mask, which is useless now.
It's useless now because it's covered in
toxic waste.
And he's like, and then he's like, he hears something and he doesn't go to it first. Then he goes back, and then the thing comes out and rips his face.
And drags him into the barrel and eats him. And then
the bullies go berserk and
they take over the school.
They jump the principal, tie him up, threaten his life,
and then just shoo everybody else out of the school so they can just run around on bikes and smash things. And
no, because they want to lure main protagonist guy. We don't even know their name. We've forgotten all their names because they're so impactful. Yeah, they want to lure him back, but they can't. So they just like, we'll take over the school, kick everyone out, grab the girl, and make him come back in to save her.
Yep. For whatever reason, because they felt slighted. Yes. It's not like they had a big plan he foiled. Like it's just because it's high school.
Threatened to hurt her / essay her, assault her.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you gotta have that in a trauma movie. You gotta have it
in a trauma movie. And then he'll come in. But then they go down to the basement
and it becomes aliens.
Where the thing it grows, evolves, and it starts picking off the bullets one
by one. And it's just like, and I think there's one scene where like they're driving by in the hall, and then you see a monster in the window, and then they stop, go back to look in, and then immediately get, which you're like,
they're driving their motorcycles through the class.
And like I said, it becomes aliens, and this thing looks like the best way I could put it is what are those aliens from X-Men? The
Groot or the something like that. I know
what are they called? There's like these aliens,
alien race that
like the Horde or something. I forget what it's called.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, look it up. It's gonna bother me.
It's gonna bother.
But it looks like that, and it's probably the best effect they have in the whole movie, the monster itself. But they rarely even use it for anything cool, because I'm pretty sure afterwards they somehow make the school explode.
Yeah, they do.
Because here's the thing: like at this point, me and Carl have completely
everything
tuned out.
has to explode in a trauma.
And you see how we've reached the end of this movie already. Yeah, like that's the end of the movie. The school explodes and everybody gets out and then all right, we're all good. The brood. That's it.
Brood. What it looks like, a brood / gremlin.
Yeah, basically. But dude, we were watching. It was so like the parts we just described is the most exciting things in the movie.
That's it. And
that's it. Over. And it's an hour and a half movie, right? And the rest was just boring teenage drama.
That's what Oscar's like. Are we supposed to be watching a Nuke 'em High movie?
Yeah, like I thought it was a trauma movie, and I kept saying
complaining about his parents,
his schoolwork, his girlfriend,
and you're just like,
and then the friends are
you're
being
waiting for
awkward.
some body horror, some like mutation.
A piece of paper tapped her because it fell off.
And she
freaked out.
No,
Because Daisy was here. But yeah, no, like everything else is just filler and boring.
We are literally slumped back like this,
like at this point, I'm also already hammered from our fucking thing.
and
I'm struggling to like keep up with this movie. Yeah, Carl doesn't do anything, and he was struggling to stay awake.
It's that bad. It's like
it's insane. Like I'm like, and I was telling Carl before, it's almost like they did Toxic Avenger, and all of their crazy ideas were gone.
Yeah, just ripped out all of the crazy fun of Toxic Avenger.
But they were like, we still have to put out a movie,
so a movie 2 years later.
So let's just put this out and see how everyone. And here's the thing: this is actually considered a cult classic for some reason.
I don't know.
I don't know why.
Like,
but
I showed it. Even the box art does not include the main character. It includes the bully and his girl. Like they're fighting the alien themselves, which is not the case.
No,
because you're kind of rooting for the what's the alien, whatever it is, the mutation.
Yeah,
baby.
mutated throw baby.
You're rooting for the baby to kill these guys because they're like literally menaces to the school.
And you know
they
what?
kill people.
And you know what? And that's pretty much the end of it. If we were going to give a rating for it, it's a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's terrible.
A straight up dumpster fire.
You don't want to remember this movie. It's like right.
I mean, you won't remember it. Like
you won't remember, and you don't want to
because like I said, these
are
the parts that stuck out to us, and that's like, and we had something in the first act, something in the middle act, and then the last whatever the fuck they had. And that was it.
You just throw your hands up like something's finally happened. Please.
Exactly.
That's the where with boredom it hurts because you're just waiting for something to happen, waiting for it to end.
Yep. And even like the little bits of body horror and the effects they had, it wasn't even.
Yeah.
It was all right for what it was, but it wasn't.
Came of it either.
Yeah, nothing came of it either.
The guy doesn't. He's not stuck in that form. He's not completely. He just transforms back. Even at the end of the movie, they're perfectly fine.
And you would think that if they were doing like a final battle scene, he would turn into that thing and fight the monster. But that's not what happens. They just never refer to it again.
Yeah, it's like, well, that happened. That was a weird week.
Actually, the more that I talk about this movie, it's almost like it kind of still falls in line with how Moonfall is, because it's like a lot of nothing happens, and the parts we're going to describe, and they truncate it into these small things, and you don't go back to certain things. No. Like they just don't refer back to it all. It's there and it's gone. Yeah. But yeah, no, I would say Nuke High Dumpster Fire, and we didn't even do the series.
Oh no,
I
tried to watch the second one, and he got like halfway through and gave up. I mean, braver than me.
Yeah, because he didn't even start. I immediately messaged him, and I'm like, "Look, we can't do this. We're gonna
do this." And then I was about to put it on. He's like, "We can't do this." I'm like, "Well, thanks."
Because here's the thing: I'll even start the second movie a little bit for myself. Stuff happens. Like immediately, it kicks off, and things are happening. But it's one of those movies where it starts at the end. You know what I mean? I forget. There's an actual name for that. But there's stuff. There's a giant kaiju rat monster attacking the school. Things are exploding. People are vomiting everywhere. Right everything's fucking crazy. There's a terrible. I mean, I know John Cena wasn't a thing back then, but this is probably this universe's version of a John Cena type character, which, by the way, is the most monotone, milquetoast looking acting motherfucker ever. And he looks like this brolic motherfucker, and he has no personality. And he's our protagonist.
That's one. The no personality plank of wood protagonists that you don't even know if they are the protagonists.
No.
They're not even on the box art half the time because they're so bad.
No, the fucking rat kaiju monster's on the art for this one.
Of course.
And it's only at the very end and the beginning of the movie.
Because that's how boring their character is.
And so, like I said, I was watching this. I'm like, stuff's happening, but I'm already bored. Like, how am I already bored by this?
It's crazy, but it's like...
And that's what I'm actually convinced a little bit. I'm convinced that because we watched Toxic Avenger first, and we saw it go basically
I think it would make it worse if we watched
max level of fucking ridiculousness. And then I watched this. I'm so numb to it.
You probably would have given Toxie's movies better ratings if we watched them.
Probably.
Like, at least it's not.
Well, I mean, there's still a lot of problematic stuff in
terrible problematic stuff. But
yeah, I mean, in this one,
it's not.
Yeah, but this one, as far as it was milquetoast, I was just not like into it. And you would think a giant rat kaiju monster, a goofy one at that, from a B movie, I'd be into. You guys made me not like B movie shit for a minute.
That's what we said for some of the Puppet Master movies. Like a good 4 or 5 of them for a long time. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
And you're just like, where are the puppets?
Yeah.
Where's when we see these horror movies or even horror comedies, you want something to happen, either something funny or something horror-like.
Yeah.
And you get neither of those things.
No.
You're just sitting there.
You're sitting there just like, where the fuck? When is the movie happening?
Yeah.
And it just never happens. But I guess I would like really go into like what we're so because we've watched a lot of cringe stuff so far. Like 9 Lives was bad. Like that was very cringeworthy. And then
that's boring.
And not only that, like some of the Puppet Masters that we did. I'm even trying to remember. I remember our first review ever was the Mimic series, and there was a lot of fucking.
But that's goofy craziness.
Yeah, but there was still a lot of cringe moments at 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But
that's what like cringe, but at least something's happening.
We did a lot of movies. I already forgot what we've done so far, but we've done a few. Oh,
And
Chucky. There's tons of stuff in there.
Stuff happens. You're never bored. It might be cringe. It might be.
But that's the thing. So, like, what is worse though? Like, because even maybe not even considering the movies we've done.
Think for yourselves too. What is worse?
Because like I've seen movies
boring
that are cringe where I'm like, you get that secondhand embarrassment.
Yes, secondhand or
even have you ever seen movie 43?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Perfect example.
Or all that movie, all the disaster movies, like Scream, not Scream, scary movies. What is it? I Know What You Did Last Summer, like the sequels. Yeah.
Like
and their ripoffs and their sequels.
Like there's a second. I don't know what's worse. If I'm sitting here like traumatized at how boring it is, and I'm just like me, like I said, even Carl's knocking out trying to watch something. And
I'm just drinking
and
vitamin water.
Yeah, and eating Cheez-Its, and I'm the one that's actually smoking and drinking.
He's like 3 beers in and smoking. So understandable, but I'm just drinking vitamin water, and we're both falling asleep.
He shouldn't act like me when we're watching a movie.
You know something bad is going down.
And then, so here's the thing, and it's just like, I don't know what's worse, that or like when you're watching a movie, especially if you have to review it, and you have to see it through.
You have to actually like take notes or like pay attention.
Like
and you're just
Nukem High, I had to stop. That was and I'm telling myself now, and I'm putting it on the cast. That's the last time I'm going to do that. I'll just follow through next time
and make us all suffer.
And make us all suffer. But I couldn't do it because we also just came off of Puppet Master.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, I can't do a full series of this, man. Yeah, and Toxie was rough too, man. But that was cringe.
We might put it back on the wheel someday and kill ourselves.
Maybe back on the wheel someday. Now I have a few other ones that we have to do, but like I said, I don't know what's worse. And to me, I think maybe the boring might be worse because at least cringe makes me feel something. You know what I mean?
It gives you either anger or secondhand embarrassment or something, or just full embarrassment.
Yeah, or it becomes so cringe that it's funny. Yeah. Like The Room.
Yeah.
Like The Room. It's like that's cringe funny.
Meme worthy, riff worthy is usually it, or it's just like we warn you, stay away from it. It's gonna just make you want to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, like it's because I mean, I'll say this about the Class of Nukem High, where I don't think you need to watch it.
No. You're not missing anything. Not even morbid curiosity. No,
you could go on YouTube and look up the highlights.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get
the
3 highlights you mentioned, and you'll get what you need out of that movie.
Be done in 8 minutes tops.
But yeah, no, I like because like the boring shit. I'm just sitting there waiting to feel something, and I'm like, and I'm already like, I'm usually drunk and stoned, and I'm still not enjoying it. And but no, it's like So for you, what would you think? You cringe, right? Boring's worse.
Boring's worse in so many aspects. Like cringe hurts, but like you said, at least we give you guys entertainment. Like you said, we are just dying, killing ourselves to watch these movies.
It's got to say something.
It gives you entertainment, and it gives us. It's like you said, it's more interesting because we can. There's so much crazy stuff happens one after the other that we can like just put like we don't even have enough notes to put it in sometimes. It's like, what is this movie? Every second some new crazy monument to insanity.
I would rather have one of those movies where I'm just like, what's going to happen next?
What's going to happen next?
Instead of going, when is the movie going to start?
Yeah, what is happening? Give me something.
Exactly. Give me something. And it's just
In this one, in Moonfall, 31 minutes. That's when I threw my hands like, finally, something's happening.
So, I mean, that's a good way to get into the next thing, which is Moonfall. And once again, I was saying before, it's got to say something when we do a Nuke 'Em High, one movie in less than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because
we can talk about Toxic Avenger for 2.5 hours, Chucky for 4 hours.
I believe Puppet Master was 2 separate 4-hour sessions.
Yep.
And
but this we get Nuke 'Em On, 15
done.
minutes.
Here are the 3 things that were cool. Yeah. Everything else is garbage. Done. Dumpster fire.
Everything we told you is
dumpster fire. But yeah, like we said, now we're getting to the actual review of what we're doing tonight, and that is Roland Emmerich's Moonfall from 2022.
Rolling.
You know what's fucked up? I wanted to go to theaters for this.
Oh god.
Because here's the thing.
This is crazy too. Just all the movies.
No! Right after this, we're probably gonna watch Sunfall or something.
Sunfall and then Earthfall.
No, it's not.
I wish.
Is that like 28 months after?
No,
it's like that. Yeah.
So we were because we're on Tubi right now.
Off.
Yeah, because we're on Tubi right now. That's what Moonfall is. That's why we're so late with this
review.
We
have to pay for it.
Yeah, because Carl was like, "Hey, do you want to watch it together?"
I only found it on Amazon, but I think it was just hidden on.
It was $3.99, and then pretty much because I was about to rent it, and then
and
Mike actually stopped. He's like, "Do not rent that. Do not rent that." I'm like, "All right, fine. I'll just have Carl come as early as he can so that we can just get it out of the way." But that's why we're late tonight too. It's because
we watched it.
We watched it on Tubi, and Tubi has commercials. But I'll give Tubi this: the commercials they went through pretty fast.
Yeah,
it was like maybe
30
a minute. Yeah, a minute, 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
If it was like. I feel like even Amazon's
or Hulu
are
way longer.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have done that if I rented it. I hope not, those fuckers. but yeah. So I remember because I'm kind of those disaster movies are kind of my not guilty pleasure. I mean, kind of, I guess. Because like I dig disaster. They're just goofy. They make no sense.
It's always the same.
It's a spectacle if you go see it in the theater. I remember when I was in when 2012 came out. I was actually in the military still, and then one night they were just like, "Hey, we're showing this in the auditorium, whatever." And I'm like, "All right." After work, I go in there. And it's funny because the guy didn't know how to run the projector, and he accidentally put the reel for the second half of the movie first. So out of nowhere, I just see Hawaii on fire. I'm like, wait, is this how it's starting? And then they had to cut it off and restart it.
Sorry. You saw nothing.
But yeah, I saw 2012 like in North Carolina, like on base. But I mean, it's stupid because when you see it, that's really what you go for when you go to see these movies. And you want to see the spectacle of the disaster, things getting destroyed, people dying. Yeah. Like you want to see all that shit. Moonfall is because, like I said, I could talk about 2012. I could talk about Day After Tomorrow. Hell, this is a Roland Emmerich joint. I could talk about Independence Day, which is technically a disaster movie.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
And you get payoffs with those, with the big explosions and shit like that. Because Roland Emmerich really is just the poor man's Michael Bay.
And he loves the disaster movies. He loves destroying national monuments and famous buildings.
He hates the earth.
He hates
the earth. He wants to destroy the earth.
He's like, let me show this building get destroyed, this city get destroyed, this thing get wiped off the map. This tsunami wipe off this section of the map. He loves that, and he does that sometimes well, sometimes terrible, cringe, it's a mixed bag.
I feel like it's an entertaining cringe.
Yeah. Sometimes it's entertaining cringe. It was like you said, disaster movies. Most of them all the same. Your washed out hero who's down on his luck, but he always has a kid.
Yeah, that's right. It's always a washed up dude or a guy that's kind of like a schlub,
washed up dude. The conspiracy guy who's right about this one and knows exactly what's going on.
If you want to compare it to anything, probably the best blueprint is probably Independence Day.
He ripped off his own movie.
Yeah, he does. This is a pastiche. And I told Carl this is the dream catcher of Roland Emmerich movies. Like how you think, you've seen Dreamcatcher, you know it's a pastiche of all Stephen King's tropes. This movie is a pastiche of all of his Roland Emmerich. I was going to see Dean Devlin because that was his partner for Independence Day. He did. I don't know if you ever saw
which one?
Geostorm.
Oh, Mike.
That's actually
I
very
didn't
comparable
finish
to this.
Geostorm.
Oh yeah,
I
you didn't
did-
need to. It's fine. But that's actually very comparable to this. This is actually just a better version of Geostorm.
What you're saying.
But
That's how bad Geostorm
oh
is.
yeah, no, I'm not. We're never doing that one. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna put it because that's also. So here's the thing. Carl said before, it takes 30 minutes for something to actually happen.
Even now, where the movie starts,
Yes.
it's not really happening.
No. Like it kicks off. I will say that you are like, what the fuck, when you first see the opening, cold open for this, where it's like they're in space. It's Halle Berry, the guy from fucking Patrick Wilson, and then sorry, but random side actor,
and random guy who he just called. He knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, because look, here's the thing. Most of these movies have that same kind of thing. Some tragedy happens in the beginning that causes the protagonist to be down on his luck when all this shit kicks off.
Was routine, what maintenance checkup, whatever. They're doing their thing. They have their camaraderie. The guy likes music.
We've done this a million times.
We've done this a million times. The guy likes music, but he gets the lyrics wrong.
Yeah.
The girl's in charge, and then the other guy, their friend, is there, and you notice waving the death flag because everything seems peaceful. It's all routine.
Like, you might as well wear a red shirt, like from Star Trek.
Pretty much. You might as well just have a red shirt on.
Oh shit!
The Oscar's spilling
I'm gonna die, dude.
Oscar's spilling beer all over. So they're fixing a satellite, and then they sense disturbance, and then they see this black mass coming towards their shuttle and the satellite, and it just tears through.
So when I saw this, I'm like, this is about the moon still, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing he says. Like, isn't this a moon movie? And, I was like,
and you see this swarm of it looks like space bees.
Yeah, space bees. That's the perfect way to. These black space bees swarm them. His friend, as we're watching, I forgot. His friend gets shot.
By the way,
into orbit.
Physics in this movie, out the window. Don't think about that. Science, don't think about that.
His whole oxygen line gets looped around the shuttle like 6 times, but doesn't snap, and he's fine.
Because also, by the way, he cuts his line,
and so be flinging into
the centrifuge would just send him flying. But no, that's not how that works.
The shuttle and everything's still spinning because it's like opposite of motion, state motion, so it's still spinning, and yet he's fine. He cuts he cuts the tube, and he should be flung out of the shuttle, but no.
Nope, no, it happened. By the way, other astronaut, he's dead.
He's dead. He's gone. He's flung into orbit.
Halle Berry knocked herself out.
Halle Berry got knocked out in the blast, so she doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
He gets into the cockpit of the shuttle, trying to call for help. There's no signal.
Which, by the way,
but he just pulls a couple lines and just able to.
Which me and Carl were questioning what this guy's thinking was. Mike, just don't. It's gonna get worse. Just don't.
Drifting the space shot.
Manually,
yes, with levers. Yes,
2 levers.
Yeah, don't.
No screen. There's no computer. No on computer.
Mike, don't start questioning things now. It's gonna get worse.
This guy's in it.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson
and Halle Berry. Fine ass Halle Berry's in this.
Mike's face is just.
Mike hasn't seen this. And like I said, we're playing this in the background.
Right?
Huh?
They did a bath on this, right?
Dude. Oh, well, we haven't done what the budget is yet.
Okay.
We haven't done that yet. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that.
But yeah, we got to guess the budget later. But because Mike says we have it playing in the background. Once again, it's on Tubi for free, and Mike is kind of just chilling and watching what we're watching right now. But the cold open, once again, you're like, what the fuck? How is this happening? Also, by the way, we were questioning this guy's protocol where, number one, he first checks on Halle Berry to make sure she's okay. Okay, fine.
Checks her pulse, but doesn't try to wake her or anything.
Or resuscitate her.
He's like, whatever. She's I guess alive. And then
instead of trying to correct the ship because it's still spinning,
he corrects it just with 2 men to push the oxygen out, which just perfectly corrects the ship because he's just that good. And then he tries to call for his friend. His friend's just drifting into space.
Oh, his friend's dead.
His friend's dead.
And then not only that, like he finally corrects the ship after he tried, but he wasn't trying to hail his friend. I think he was trying to hail NASA, whoever the fuck.
He calls out to his friend, not like with the thing, but just out to him.
Yeah, because the sound carries through space and the monitor totally works still. Which also, by the way, how are the mics still working and shit if the electricity is going crazy? Because the space bees can fuck with electronics apparently. But that's how it kicks off. And obviously
the space bees crash into the moon and start burrowing. And
Yes, it starts digging into the moon.
Yeah.
Because that's the one of the many few shots
Of the moon
of
at
the moon.
first
Because
for a long time.
For a long time. Because at this point now, he's like, oh, we have to do character building.
Yeah.
And
Character building.
and so basically for at least like 30 minutes, you're pretty much introduced to all the people involved.
Yeah.
So the guy, so
his wife.
what are their
Son.
actual names in the fucking thing?
Do you think I know?
I know.
Jacinda.
Jacinda is Halle Berry's character. Yes, her
That's
name
right.
is Jacinda because Roland Emmerich does not know how
His
to
name's
write
Brian.
for people of color.
I don't remember them ever saying his name.
So it's Brian and
Oh,
Jacinda.
and Sam is Casey.
Casey.
John Brev.
Just send it.
Jacinda. And because Roland Emmerich
and
is.
Tom Lopez, Michael Pena's character.
Oh, no one gives a shit
Yeah.
about him.
Well, they put so much like camera time on him that I think someone
You mean all 5 minutes of it in this
randomly.
This movie's 2 hours and 11 minutes, by the way.
Yes.
And we had to deal with it with commercials on Tubi, so at least made it 2 hours and a half.
Probably more. And well, no, you paused it because you had to take the
Oh, yeah,
break, so it's like
I'm sorry.
2 hours, and like 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, because, Sam's character has IBS, and this movie gave me IBS.
That's what his.
It gave
So-
me IBS.
So he comes back. They have a court hearing and everything for Brian's character. His name is Brian Harper.
By the way, have fun trying to figure out the time jumps in the
Jumps
timeline.
and the cuts, because this happens when he just got back, and they're like, you were negligent somehow, and you caused this.
It is
so
all your
you're
fault.
fired.
Because for some reason they don't put it on Halle Berry, who's running the ship. No,
And
it's his fault
it's his
after
fault.
they brought him down.
Yes.
And then not only that, within 24
And
hours
she
of this
threw him under
happening,
the bus, even though he saved their lives. They're like, it's your fault, negligence. Somehow you created space bees to knock out your.
well, they don't know about the space bees. They
Well,
don't
then,
believe him
yeah.
about the space
They
bees.
don't believe it, or do they?
Oh God, don't start with that
Yeah.
shit. Because also, by the way, within the week or the day and a half that he comes back to Earth, his wife was already divorcing him. They're moving out of the house.
Yep.
And no
His
shit.
wife is terrible.
And I love how the news puts up like disgraced astronaut. Like they're dogging
He
him
just
on
got
TV.
back. Like for trying to save them, and he's trying to tell them like
There's
drunk.
something
They
up
act
there.
like he was drunk on the job or something. Like he had like a cult.
and you find out that's bullshit later, anyways. But like,
I guess the public will believe anything. So then they just hard cut to 10 years later, and because we need to make it 10 years later. And
because it has to match up with our timeline,
Yes.
because it's 2011 when that happens,
Yes.
and it's 2021 when this movie about this comes out.
Yeah. So now we see our real main character, Casey.
He plays Sam
Sam
in
from
Game of Thrones, and I will say this: he is the best actor in the movie, and that's not saying a lot.
He's not saying a lot, but he's at least trying.
No, he's trying. I feel bad for him because I'm like, after Game of Thrones, he's like, all right, I got to start my career, and he gets this.
He gets this.
And not for nothing, he's the only one that's actually reacting more than everybody else that's sleepwalking through this. Because one of the biggest criticisms I know that Carl said is like the moon's falling. Why is no one freaking out right now?
Oh, well, we don't get it yet because everyone's still like getting clued in, but he's playing Roland's usual character of the guy, conspiracy theorist, but actually knows what's going on.
Yep.
So
Jeff Goldblum,
Jeff
and Woody Harrelson's
Woody
character
Harrelson.
in 2012.
Yeah. So it's like they know what's going on and they know there's a disaster incoming. No one believes them. They're like, you're just a crazy nut. But his character just keeps jumping from job to job in this movie somehow, because you don't need any credentials. Like he shows up as a janitor at
He just sneaks in. He sneaks in.
He just sneaks in because you can just do that. You don't need any badges or clearance or anything. You just sneak in and just go to anyone's computer and start typing away. And then he goes to his actual job, which is a burger joint or something.
By the way,
Which is
worst
weird,
but
because that's his actual job. Because the guy recognized him as like, you're late and you need to do your job. So it's like, why is he working there? But then he leaves. Why do you even go to work that day?
I know, like you feel like I feel like
he wants
when
to add in these comedic roots, but it doesn't really work.
It doesn't land because the actual his acting is good, but the lines they give him, the whole story structure of his background is so kind of ramshackled together. Because I have never seen a movie that seems rushed but also lagging at the same time. Because, like you said, you think infiltrating NASA and getting information would be your entire day instead of trying to cram it in before work. And then not only that, they go into work, and then what kind of place lets you take a 10-minute break as soon as you get out?
Does he even go back? He immediately leaves work because he gets more information on what's happening.
Oh yeah, because he has to quit his job. Everyone quits their job in this
because
movie.
he gets like the files for the orbital moving of the moon. He's like, I got to go. And Halle Berry has changed her hair not once, twice, but 3 times in the first 15 minutes of this movie. And he's gotten through like 3 jobs in the first 15 minutes of this movie.
Yep.
That's how fast. And yet we're only 15 minutes in of a 2 and 11 minute movie.
And by the way, nothing is still happening.
Nothing is happening. Yet.
They're basically telling you what you would already know from just going into this. The moon is falling. We get it. We don't even get there yet because, like I said, this is a moon movie, right? But we have to stop and have Patrick's son go into a DUI car. Oh, he gets into a car. Because here's the thing, Roland Emmerich likes to do these things where he has to make you endear to the families involved in this.
Or he tries to.
But in this, it's because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I get it more in 2012 and Day After Tomorrow. This
I did not care.
No, I didn't give a shit about the family. I didn't give a shit about the main characters. I didn't give a shit about the fact that his son was going to jail. Because, by the way, his dad, Brian, doesn't do any good helping his son. Who yells out in a courtroom going, hey, Judge, it's not. He
just stands up and tells him, like, no, Judge, it was his friend. No, you can't do this.
And then not only
no
that,
one's trying to stop him.
And which, by the way, the lawyer should brief him, like, be quiet in court. Not only that, the lawyer fucks up and goes to the judge, who is obviously the angry black judge that just wants to see the justice.
I didn't want to assume.
No, he was an angry, not even like a real. He acted like a TV judge.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, I don't like you because you're a disgraced astronaut, and I don't like your son because of that. Basically.
Because of that,
and all the feel I need is you trying to speak up during this court proceeding. So what? No bail for a whole nother. And
then the fucking lawyer goes, "Hey, we'll pay whatever. None is no object."
And then he makes it even worse.
Yeah, because it's like, dude, you don't fucking say that. Don't act like, because they always get offended when you make it seem like you can buy your way out.
Yeah, that this is no deal.
Yeah, there's no problem. And the lawyer's like, oh, we're sorry. We didn't mean to offend you. Oh, fuck you. This guy's getting fucking jail.
Jail, no bail for who.
Fuck this kid. This Scandinavian-looking fuck.
Our genius protagonist, Casey, decides to post this about the moons.
So what happens is the government tries its one and only attempt to try and figure out what's going on the moon.
Yes.
And
to see why is it shifting.
Once again,
then it just goes into
riots in the street because Casey did release the info about the moon because he goes to
really a job, Casey.
People are leaving the city.
They're looting
the moon.
Yeah, because the moon is coming out of orbit and coming closer to the Earth, so they're like, we're all gonna die.
Let's go to a different part of the Earth. It's gonna
if the moon touches, we're all dead.
That actually is a good segue into, hey, you know what the safest place is in America apparently? Colorado. Because everyone seems to go to Colorado.
Colorado, I'm like, that's the safest place.
I think
they're gonna catch the thing.
He's gonna laugh. He's laughing because you don't even know, man. You don't even fucking know.
Oh
you don't even fucking know.
Oh
so, like I was saying before, Casey released the information, and then
his mom.
She says,
"None of them are listening to me," and she's like, "You have to make them listen."
So he just
somehow
somehow
caused mass hysteria.
I guess he released it to Google or something.
He just released it. He just posted.
And then everyone, and apparently every news outlet just goes, "Hey, the moon's falling.
The moon's falling.
World's in complete anarchy now."
Yeah, people just busting in. It just became like Walking Dead anarchy, end of days type of.
Like they have the news footage of people looting places. Of religious freaks,
people
like
just
shooting
up cops and just like throwing.
Which, by the way, this is the only time you see cops doing anything because after this point,
cops are gone.
Cops are gone.
Quit. They all resigned to die.
Yep.
So he finds like maybe I should look into this guy
That was trying to give him information about the Moonfall and Casey.
Yeah, Casey.
Brian's
like, I'll finally look into him. So he goes through the dumpster to find the files. And then he sees on his phone that Casey is having a conspiracy meetup at the local hotel.
Which, by the way, the moon's getting closer to the Earth. All the satellites apparently still work. Phones
fine.
Still work. You can still get videos out there. And
yeah, tsunamis are coming.
And then not only that, he's able to organize an entire meeting in a hotel. And then when you get to the hotel, there's no one there, as in no staff, no people in the rooms. For some reason, they're able to get into this hotel and have a full-ass meeting in their boardroom.
Yeah.
Of just random nuts. They're not even like this. Casey doesn't have reputable friends.
No.
They're like all the conspiracy guys. Like the one Marine guy that says that Oswald did it.
His Ziggy, his
hippie friend that thinks that there's food inside of the moon.
Yeah.
Like some Wallace and Gromit shit.
Like the moon's made of cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Basically.
No. Well, he says there's produce inside of the moon. Oh, you're. Mike's rolling his eyes now, and you just wait till we get to the rest of this shit.
So they meet up, but then they get an alert telling the entire West Coast to evacuate, as a tsunami is within minutes showing up to them.
And you know what's funny? When you watch this and you compare it to the rest of Roland Emmerich movie, and you see this tsunami, it's actually pretty realistic looking to what a tsunami would look like, as in like. It's not this massive wave. It's like a
flood,
a coastal flooding,
5 feet of flood coming all the way up
until it rises and rises and rises. Which is like, all right, that's actually what it's. But I'm convinced it's just because they were too cheap to do that in the beginning.
At the beginning,
at the beginning,
shoot everything else at the end, and even then they still cheaped out on the stuff. But
oh my god, because this had to have been the most budgeted movie that Roland Emmerich ever made.
We kind
next to Stargate, and Stargate was still good.
We kind of jump from it because there's some bad effects, like because remember we said Brian, the cliche main antagonist, down and out. He's still in his house, but he hasn't paid for it in months, so he has an eviction notice after eviction notice. So when he leaves on his motorcycle in his terrible green screen backdrop.
This movie, there is no way they shot on location for anything.
I don't think. Yeah,
I'm convinced the entire thing was done on a set with green screen,
sure.
And this was probably all on one set because, like Carl said, the green screen in this is atrocious. Where I'm like, none of that background exists right now. Like when they just showed, a pan of like the flooding of the town that they're in. Because they're all trapped in the hotel, the conspiracy theorists and Brian. And by the way, they just immediately take over the hotel. They just take rooms, start doing whatever the fuck they want there. No one's there, yeah, but it's just like because everybody quits in this movie. That's the theme of this movie too.
Just quit and die.
Yeah, just quit and die.
And resign yourself to death is the theme.
You could also say this is the most nihilistic of all Roland Emmerich movies, where
it's just like give up.
Yeah, like in the other movies, like hey, we can band together, we can do this, we can do that. Hey, like
the aliens, we can fight, we can get out of the city before.
And this one, everyone's like, nope, I quit. We're going home. We're gonna go die in our houses.
Oh, well, then a little before that, they send up the crew, the three-man crew to see what's going on the moon. And they get there, they shoot down a probe because there's a new hole we haven't seen before.
The moon has a hole.
A new moon hole, Mike.
Should call it moon hole.
So they drop a probe in and it's like, it's still going.
That's the porn version.
Then they're like, wait, something's wrong. It's not dropping anymore. It's coming back. It's getting pushed out. And you see a giant swarm of space bees that are in the form of a hydra, I guess, a snake hydra thing that goes up to the ship and immediately just busts through the astronauts' cabin and out their windows.
Oh,
breaks into their helmets,
fucked up,
and just get their faces drilled in by space.
And they show it too. They show them going in there and just
fucking
because that's the only. At this point, that's the only
thing that's happened. That's when I threw up my hands like finally something.
Yeah, something. And they just repeat that in the filler portions because once again, at this point, the biggest part, the disaster parts of this was the flood, and then that space mission.
Yeah, and now
that's like what is this? We are 40 minutes into this movie.
Into this movie, and that's the only two things we've gotten. No other disaster, nothing happening yet. They're just sitting around talking.
What was the movie this other guy was in? This guy, he was in the horror movies.
Conjuring
universe. And he was also what was it? The owl and
Yeah, he's
and
out
Watchmen.
in Watchmen.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
He had glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, an actual. I mean, it's not a great movie, but better than this shit.
But Watchmen.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's super entertaining.
Yeah.
To me personally.
it's a good background movie.
Yeah, it's a good background. I
Like
like
stuff
Watchmen.
happens. Honestly, the best part of that movie is Rorschach.
Exactly.
Him just mangling
Rorschach.
people. I'd watch a whole movie of Rorschach.
Oh no. See,
And
that's how bad this movie is. We're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking
better
about another
movies.
movie that these guys in because, like, I'm gonna say this in terms of the acting in this, everyone except for Casey is sleepwalking through this. No reactions. No one is. Everyone should just
The
be
moon,
freaking out,
yes.
and no one's freaking out. The moon is falling, people, and no one's freaking out except for Casey.
Closer and closer. Her scientists buddies are like, we have 2 weeks or something before we're dead.
Okay, so the guy's like, oh, we have like 3 months, right? So that's another. Like, no, wait, but when the
No.
moon gets closer,
Time
our months get shorter. So it's
gonna
3
be
weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. It'll be 3
It's
weeks
3
before we're
weeks.
all dead.
Listen, don't try to understand
Because-
science.
The science is like the tides will be rising every. The orbital heavenly bodies coming this close.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why the whole
sure.
West Coast had to be evacuated in
Yeah.
30 seconds when they released the
So-
information, and it was
So
already being
somehow,
flooded.
which we don't explain, is like we need Brian, or she's like no one else is gonna do it because everyone else has quit or just left, and the government's plan is just to bunker up and nuke the moon. A brilliant plan.
I love how Mike's looking. He's like, he just saw a spatial and said, "Fuck the moon" on it.
That's what Mike's
And also, this guy's stealing money.
Well, he
Yeah,
literally
but
says
look,
it's not. It's worthless.
It's worthless. Money is worthless because everyone's gonna die. Why are you stealing money? I don't know where they're going anyway.
Yeah,
so
like-
where they're getting. If money's worthless, why do anything?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie though. Like, there's always gonna be people like this. If let's say a
There's always
moon level disaster happens,
planetary.
people are gonna be rushing somewhere where they think they might make it.
Real.
I was watching, like I was telling Carl before when we were watching this. Like I've seen these like YouTube doomsday things of like what happens when certain things. Like if the moon were to crash or come towards the Earth, by the time that the actual moon made impact,
before it even made impact, we would be dead.
we would be dead because of fallout
There's nowhere
from.
to go.
But here they go through all the rigmarole of like it's going to be a slow death for us still.
Yeah, it's gonna be it'd be if it got even like 5 miles closer to us, we'd probably be pretty dead.
And and this moon gets close.
I'm
I'm going to say that right now.
Close is a gross understatement.
And I was telling Carl, some of the disaster portions of this was directly ripped off from his own Independence Day sequel.
Yes.
Because it's very similar to when the giant
That giant.
ship goes
Yeah.
towards the Earth and starts doing the whole gravity thing and shit.
He
Same
loves that.
fucking
He
thing.
loves that. So they somehow find Patrick, or God, I forget his name.
Brian.
Brian.
And Casey.
That's how memorable he is. Brian and Casey.
We just watched it. We already forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is an hour in.
Yes. This is an hour in. They somehow find him at the hotel and get him out through helicopter. They're like, okay, we need your help because no one else is going to do
Which,
it.
by the way, they don't explain any of this shit, like how they found him, how they knew he was in that room.
No,
They just found him, got him, and brought him back.
Brought him back to their NASA, their launch base. But they're like, we can't use a regular ship because the space bees will just tear it apart. So we need an older ship.
Yeah.
That's like she gets a brilliant idea from her son to use an older ship, which would still use electronics, but less electronics. So they're like, maybe we have a chance. And she had gone to this secret, like abandoned or like debunked base with all this secret information.
I think it was. Oh yeah.
She
The Donald Sutherland
scene where they had the cover up where it's like that's why they blacklisted him because they knew about the space bees.
Yes.
But they didn't want to do anything because of budgetary concerns.
Which is fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Like you would, even if NASA couldn't do anything, hey, throw it to Area 51
Throw it to
or
someone,
something.
or throw it to a different country. You just
Like
try.
they literally were
No,
developing a weapon to fight the space bees.
This is like we found life and hostile life. Not just we found life, a hostile life. I leave it.
Orbiting our fucking planet.
planet. Leave it.
Which also, so I mean, I don't know if I'm jumping too much ahead, but they described the space bees where They attack because it's electronic.
Electronic and organic.
That's
matter
why. Okay, that's
pulls
okay. So
together,
that debunks what I was gonna say because I was gonna
describes intelligent life.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, why didn't it attack any of the satellites? Like, because
it
there's
has to be the
there's a
combo.
whole 10 years,
10 years
in
that's
between the events of the
first
accident
attack,
and
yeah.
then what's happening now.
Yes.
And there's so many things that could have happened in between there that would have made more sense than what's
No.
actually happening now.
They just threw their hands up like
Especially when you find out what the fucking twist is at the end.
twist.
Yeah, it's a twist. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it because they try to. Fuck.
that's and then just throw you. That's
Well, fuck. But like, so now they have to. What was it? They have to send the second mission to try and fix the moon.
And the ZX7 EMP with them.
Yes,
because they had built it, but they're like, we're not going to use.
And that goes into the Donald Sutherland piece where
thing.
he exposition dumps this whole thing.
And he was about to KI just kill himself with the gun right before she showed up.
And by the way, he probably did it afterwards because you don't see him
You
ever
don't see him
again.
again, and he's like, yeah, you mind like cleaning this up because I got to go back. I have an important meeting on my desk because he left the gun on his desk.
Yeah, he left the gun on his desk. I'm like, oh Jesus, dude,
dark. Yeah. So she calls her husband. Is like, I need to. Her ex-husband. Everyone's divorced in this movie. Very uplifting.
Look, it's government jobs, man. That's what happens.
So she calls up her ex because he's of course he's a military man. He's like one of the like head of the war.
Oh, he's like general, like some brigadier general for something.
And she's like, I need that ZX7, and he's like, we can't do it because our plan. That's when he tells them their plan. It's like they're gonna bunker up in Colorado and nuke the moon, and she's like, that's stupid. What about the radioactive fallout? Not to mention the pieces that would fall off and hit the planet.
The
anyway.
giant,
He's
you're
like,
literally.
no, we're doing that. Sorry.
You're literally creating like
more
extinction level event meteors
and
radioactive
fallout.
Radioactive meteors.
Yes. Brilliant.
How do you think you guys are gonna? And then when you see the disasters
same
at the
schmucks that covered it up anyways and got Brian fired because
that is true. These guys are not very smart people. They pretty much just say the government's stupid as fuck in this.
Aliens don't need to take us.
Nope. But
so
they have to come up with this new plan to try and fix the moon.
He actually does finagle because it's still his ex-wife, so he trusts her and she knows she'll try to do something. So he gets her the EMP. They get the shuttle, which they fly over with the 747. Now it's like, you can do that? I guess so, because they put the shuttle on top of a 747 to fly it back to the California base, which I think we looked up as the space.
Listen, we don't know how any of this stuff really works, so if any of this is actually accurate, let us know. But it's a Roland Emmerich movie. I don't believe shit that he's showing me right now.
But there is a few bases in California, so they get them there.
Yeah, we have to look that up during it.
Yeah, we have to look it up during it. So they get them there. They're setting everything up, but then there's like a coolant failure for one of the engines of the rocket.
Because the moon's coming up, the tectonic plates are shifting, so they had an earthquake just there on the base.
Of course, cracks one of the rock, like the smaller sub rockets, which gets you up into the atmosphere. So it's like, now we may not be able to do it. And then she just was like, okay, you guys can return to your families. What? And die?
Look, everyone pretty much gives up here.
Might as well do it because the only other option is your death.
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing, too. It's like everyone in this movie, it's like I said, it's very nihilistic. Everyone quits. To the point where when Halle Berry was brought in to look at this shit, the director of NASA was literally like, hey, we're leaving.
To
go
She's
wherever
like, where are you going? Yeah, to Colorado.
Hey, I know you wanted my job. You can have it. You're the director of NASA.
Because even though the alternative is just everyone dies, so it's like you might as well try something.
I mean, yeah, right. Like
you're gonna die either way.
I get you want to be with your family, but by the way, you're all dead. It doesn't matter.
So at least try to save the planet.
No, and then basically, Halle Berry becomes director of NASA just like that.
Just like that.
I was telling Carl, I'm convinced that you could probably come back to Earth after all this happened. Just goes, I'm the president, and you probably get the job because there's nobody else around, and everybody quit.
He already quit. So you could take his job. That's basically what happens.
But so she basically tells everyone, hey, go home.
Go home. So there's literally 5 people left to do this launch when they actually decide we still got to do this. We got to try. She's like, you've done more than we could ever ask because we're watching it. It's like, you have my deepest things, but go home to your families. Like, what?
What? And then not only that, too. Here's the thing. Like, this is actually almost like the
It's literally halfway in.
character thing for Roland Emmerich, because you would think, like, hey, these characters you get
like, we have
introduced
to fight. We got to do this.
would be more endearing. Not only that, like, obviously there'd be plot armor.
Yeah.
But he only keeps it to the 3 main guys.
Yeah.
Because, like, the 2 people that help him launch get completely fucked, like, after this. Also, he does have a thing also with, like, people that can't, like, take care of, like, they're sick or they're elderly.
They have a sick
and they have to find a way to go to
save them. Yeah, to save them as well.
Like, what was it? Day After Tomorrow was like the chick with the cancer kid,
You know,
trying to get through the snowstorm.
Independence Day.
Oh yeah, Independence Day too.
The Will Smith's girl and her son.
Yeah.
It's always something. So as they're launching, because they decide to launch, and there's only like 6 of them working a launch, because that's how many people you need.
Because Casey, being the genius that he is, says, "Hey, look, there's gonna be a huge gravity wave coming, and that will help us boost up, and we won't need the other rocket." But also, with that gravity well comes the ocean and spiral, like water funnels coming up too. So it's like we have to get everyone cleared. So Halle Berry couldn't hire any other personnel to, escort her au pair, her son, and Brian's son, who he got out of jail somehow.
Yeah, he got it. That was the only
condition
come on the mission.
Does he get his son out of jail?
So he did. So we looked and we're like, what the hell's happening? Because Brian's son is driving the Humvee out of the base. Don't know why he wasn't on the plane with everyone else.
No, with all the other employees, he got out of there on time.
No. He's driving the Humvee, and they just stopped the Humvee
to watch
as these giant, like 7 or 8 water funnels are coming towards the base, and they're just sitting there watching that, hightailing it out of there, so they aren't killed and drowned in this water funnel.
And also, by the way, like there's so many times where number one, the guys that helped with the launch got fucking taken out.
The guys they try to get to their helicopter, like exfil to get out, but they're like the gravity's there's like less, so it's almost anti-gravity, so they're like jumping instead of running, so they can't get there in enough time. But they get on the helicopter, but they don't get out in time. So you just see the wave just take their helicopter, take them
out,
and it's not even saying because you don't see any screams, you just see the wave take it, and it's just
that's it.
And then you see the son, Brian's son, her son, and the au pair just like, oh, and they're like, we gotta go.
Yeah, because now they see the waves hitting the mountain they're on, and like, now we should leave.
Now we should leave. So they make it. They breach like the mesosphere, stratosphere, and they get like to the top of of course they have to make tension and like Oscar said, this is around Oscar said at the time, is like there's no music like pulling us into this.
Yeah, there's like no soundtrack. There's
some sort of instrumentals at some points,
but it's like very low and very what was it, like stock sounds.
Stock sounds and like low instrumentals. Because nothing's pulling us in, even for the tense moments where they're trying to break out into space. And it's like, oh, we're not gonna make it. It's like, oh wait, because the moon's closer now, we can curve it more, and we're closer to the moon anyways, so we'll be fine. So they do make
none of this science checks out. By the way, none of
this we get further into this movie, there's no science. So they make it. But they're like the space bees are coming back out of the hole to come kill us.
Yeah,
because it senses, as they learn, both organic life and electrical fields. Yeah, so that's what it comes after.
That's why it goes after.
That's why it goes after you. So it's coming closer, but Patrick
explanation for this is
Patrick
fantastic.
learns that it's like, his communicator for the detonator is still on, so she smashes it to turn it off. But then our brilliant guy KC has his phone on
because Casey, I'm sorry. So a few things. One,
Casey's smart, but also dumb.
He's smart. They bring him on this mission because
he's a main character. That's why.
That's why.
Because he's the only one that didn't leave.
Because they literally just say, "Well, we're going to be analog, and we need someone that can do actual calculations and stuff." Yeah, so that'd be fine. But then the one time they need to use him, he's can't do it.
No, yeah, he says, "I don't know."
And they're just like, "Oh fuck! Why'd you bring this fat fuck with us?" Like, that's basically what they're trying. Like they say, it's like, And it's just like, but
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know.
And then,
oh, like good contribution, Casey.
And here's the thing. So the whole point of this mission is because they finally concede to the fact there's this space swarm out there, and they have an EMP thing.
Intelligence that's kind
of.
of.
They have an EMP device that the military developed. Didn't finish because of budgetary, but for some reason they finished it now.
Yes.
And they were going to bring it up there to destroy this, whatever the fuck. They think
presence.
that the presence is the reason the moon is falling.
Yeah.
And then when they get up there, it's very much they have to do everything analog. They have to use just levers and things like that to try and guide the ship because, I mean, which is still
even
weird.
Though there's still electrical systems.
Yes.
They might be lower, but there's still electrical systems.
Yeah.
We see lights on. We see thrusters going. There's no
like
way
they could have easily said at some point,
systems.
like, "Hey,
it needs a certain amount of electrical field,
or it has to be a certain advancement of electrical stuff. Like it can't be rudimentary.
Even something as small as your phone sets this thing off. So it's like
the detonator set it up. Which, by the way, he should have just broken the phone and not the detonator.
Yeah.
For all you know, the detonator wasn't the issue.
Wouldn't turn back on, and you'd be completely screwed.
And here's the thing, too. So when you see that their detonator for this gets destroyed, I'm like, someone's going to sacrifice himself to make it work, like in Armageddon or something like that.
We already know the death flags.
But which is funny because later on you realize like it gets fixed anyway. So it's like, you know. But like now
we cut back to the family who are going through The Last of Us, I guess.
Yeah, it's true Roland Emmerich fashion where there's the big mission, and then you see what the small families that you have to be endeared to
safety from the disaster. So they're getting on their way to Colorado, or going through Colorado to get to the Rockies.
Because this only takes place in two places: the West Coast and Colorado, and the moon.
Midwest. The West Coast, Colorado, moon. And some of New York at the end.
Which, by the way, we didn't even touch on this. It took about I would say 40 minutes to an hour before you even see the moon.
Yeah.
Because
they're saying we have more composite shots of digital moon or just drawn moon on like showing the orbital field. And that's it.
Instead of the actual moon that the movie's about.
Now like we're an hour and 20 in and we finally get them actually at the moon and see shots of the moon. And
the moon's doing shit. And even with these like
back to the fan.
Even with these small bursts of like the disaster stuff, it's not enough. It's so much filler of like the family and everyone talking in their specific situations.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not like we're begging for them to die, but you don't care because like no matter what's happening with the family, if they don't fix the moon, everyone dies anyways. Yep. So that's why I'm like, why are all you people doing this anyways? Because they get stopped and pulled over by these like bandits.
Oh, basically. These renegade bandits. Because you need an antagonist that's not just the moon.
Who are robbing people even though they know that, the planet's going to be destroyed within hours now. What do you say, 2 hours?
Literally, it's like we finally figure out what their mission is at the moon.
Yeah.
We have 2 hours before the government launches nukes.
Once the moon actually breaks our stratosphere, they're gonna launch the nukes, which makes no sense. Wait for the moon to get closer and then shoot the things.
And here's the thing, Carl kept saying the entire time, if this happened, it's over. The Earth is done. There's nothing that we can do at this point.
Those two bodies that close one would implode and explode on itself and then just crush the other one, throwing basically giant shrapnel at the earth, dicing it up, and the earth would probably explode itself. And it would just
because even
chunks.
You see the chunks that come off of the moon at some points, and you're like, that asteroid is as big as the one they said in Armageddon would kill the fucking Earth.
And that's just chunks.
And that's one chunk that you see amidst thousands of pieces of the moon.
So they let the bandits take their stuff, but the kid is smart enough because I guess his dad trained him, astronaut training or military training.
No, the kid's just a bad kid.
He kicks the gun under the car. So they don't take it. They take all their other stuff.
Keep going. Gotta use it.
Yeah.
Gotta use it.
Yeah.
Sorry, too much beer.
Too much beer.
Now and then. Oh, gotta use it.
So
it's kind of a staple in our podcast now anyways.
Yeah, exactly. They know. So they're robbing them, but they want the backpacks and whatever food they have. We don't have the backpacks. But he's smart enough to kick the gun under the car before they can see it. So they take the backpacks, but they need the kid's backpack. I don't know why they gave it to the kid, but the kid has the sat phone to call his father so they can get into the base in Colorado. So they let them go, and then because they're driving to Colorado where the kid's mom, stepfather, and sisters are. And when he gets there, though, it's like Last of Us because they just start immediately shooting at them. They don't ask them who they are or anything like that. And he's like, wait, my mom's here and everything. And they just start opening fire, which is kind of crazy. And this is only like a few days after we've learned about the moon. Everyone's just in these like bunkered down town settlements where people will just open fire at you if you get close.
Which, by the way, I believe this movie takes place in the span of like 4 days.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 days.
4 days, and
it's
all
already,
of this happens.
It's already end of time. And yeah, now after they get to Colorado, that's when chunks of the moon start meteoring to the planet and making these giant craters.
Which, by the way,
which in and of itself would wreck the planet. But
like, seriously, these look like military strikes in the Middle East, like tame, like how much shit is just
like,
falling on them. And like,
just a little off kilter. I don't know if you saw this video of Russia like a few years back where a small meteorite hit Russia.
Oh, yeah.
And it devastated that whole city.
That whole region. Like
probably like this size.
Yeah, no, and not only that, it creates like an EMP thing where it like kills all the electronics around everywhere.
And it knocked out like everything.
And it wiped out a whole forest or something, right?
And yet these are like these giant boulders going down.
Like seriously, like
going down, and yet everyone should be
like
vaporized.
Indiana Jones boulders, like just coming down.
Just hitting like
oh my god! Like
those are the size of the boulders. Those are the size of our cars.
Not even they're size of buildings, mountains. Like look at this shit.
That's all coming to the planet.
And it's like at this point, you're just me and Carl kept saying, "What are you saving at this point? The Earth is done.
Yeah, the Earth's dead."
Like,
so they cut back to the moon mission. They ditched the shuttle to get into a smaller transport.
Go say it, Mike. I know you're about to say it. Go ahead.
All of those things behind them are going to the Earth. Right?
Yes.
That's about the size of like.
But I was going to say, like, they're not going to do anything that's going to stop those.
No. That's the Earth is done.
You'll see, Mike. That already is going to the Earth. There's no way to stop that. So they go into the moon hole. They go into the moon. They go into the moon's hole. Not even moon hole. The moon's hole.
That somehow made it worse.
That makes it worse. That's why I said it.
Moon hole. They go into this moon's hole.
Like this, Mike. They go into the moon's hole.
You gotta pay the moon's hole. You want to go into the moon's hole?
And because
is there a door on the moon?
No. The cuts in this are terrible.
The cuts, Mike thought they were breaking.
Yeah, but they're breaking into the moon.
No, because they know for some reason now because the heavily advised have crashed. So the atmosphere is being torn apart, so there's less oxygen.
No, but you know what's funny, Carl? That there's still radio waves for people to listen on radio. They say, "Hey,
radio waves and
this valley has to be evacuated because of atmospheric dissipation," which means the air is getting sucked out of the area.
Out of the area into space.
Which, by the way, once that happens,
you're dead.
You don't revert that. It doesn't fix itself. Like there's no air.
Instantly. But we'll get to that line. So they go to a fire station because the fire station has like extra O2 tanks for like rescues and stuff.
For what? You're not going to get that far.
Well,
this moon hole's huge. This moon's hole is huge.
The moon's hole is huge.
They should have just called this movie Moon Hole.
But
for real, they got a lot.
They were going to get O2 tanks. They go all the way down. This is like what 30 miles.
This moon
hole is to the moon's core, and now they see like more structure, not just rocks. It's actually like structure coming down. As they get closer.
God!
It's like the moon's mantle is just a protective shell.
No, this is when Roland Emmerich starts losing his mind.
This is when he gets.
This is when Roland Emmerich's like, I have to make this more interesting now. Now out of nowhere.
So they get there, and it's like these monolithic structures inside the moon, like intelligent creation, basically.
It's a fucking Death Star.
It's a Death Star. It's a Death Star inside with a mini sun powering this Death Star. As Mike is watching. That's a mini star, like a mini sun.
Are those the bees?
Those are the bees that are circling the sun and trying to. The bees are trying to get into the core of the moon to kill the moon. So our heroes are trying to get past it. They're about to shoot their
EMP,
but it doesn't work. But as they're getting closer, and the things it doesn't instantly kill them because they're the main characters. It should have crushed their ship completely. Especially it's even smaller ship than the one they got with.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we gotta fast forward this.
No, I was like, we skip it.
You want to watch this, man? You got to go through the whole thing like we did.
Oh, Mike's like, oh hell. So it's about to crush them, but then part of the core opens up, and Tractor beams them to safety out of the bees and saves their lives and close the bees out because the structure is made out of this super alloy that can't be penetrated by the bees.
because it was.
Because
this is where it starts.
Then
this is the twist, man.
Then they crash. They're all unconscious, but a presence takes Brian out of the ship and drags him a few corridors back to give Oscar will give you, and now we get the exposition.
Oh my god!
What the true twist of the moon, Mike? Oscar will tell you guys.
So we're watching this, and look, it's called Moonfall. I thought this was just going to be, hey, the moon fell off its kilter
randomly,
and they're going to make it crash, and then maybe they're going to do something to push the moon back into orbit. No,
something that stupid. I'd take that.
And that thought got thrown out of the way when I saw the moon bees, or the space bees.
Immediately that gets thrown out.
And then now this is when it all comes together. It becomes fucking what's it called? Something of what was the third kind?
Close
Encounter of the Third Kind. Contact.
Contact is contact.
It's very much contact, like a contact ripoff.
They are still.
And you find out because when they get into the area before they get attacked by the monster, get sucked in. You see that there's fields of food. Yep. There's a bunch of technology everywhere, and
there's actually fields of food.
So Casey, the entire time, along with his friends, have both been saying that this is the moon is a mega structure, not a
drinking game for every time Casey says mega structure.
Yeah, you are going to get hammered.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Casey will say mega structure 5 times in 5 minutes, and you will get completely destroyed. But you find out the moon's actually a mega structure that has food in it, just like his hippie friend said.
His hippie friend called him, there's produce.
There's produce. There's fields of corn and shit in there. And then you go in, this whole thing happens.
Is my soul.
Then Brian gets the exposition dump from, once again, his contact, because the aliens take the form of his son.
Yeah.
So they
were too lazy to actually show us a new actor or an alien. So they just we'll just use the thing you love the most, your son.
And what we could get filmed in that one day.
Yeah, he's still on set, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
They're still on set.
Because the young version of his son and the old version of his son are both portrayed
for the alien presence.
And there is a point where the older version of his son goes, "Let me now explain to you what's happening." So you find out that the moon is a megastructure that's meant to create our world, kind of like Titan AE.
Like fuck planet Earth.
It fucks itself to create planet Earth.
It smashes into the meteor, the asteroid field around it.
Why are you
super hot? Creates the Earth, and once it's able to sustain life, it seeds the Earth with our DNA.
So it banged itself.
Pretty much.
You know how Roland Emmerich likes to do animals that can create its own people, like Godzilla in the Matthew Broderick one. Which was Roland Emmerich, by the way.
That could just reproduce asexually.
Yes, Roland Emmerich did that for that and this movie. The moon is asexual.
It's not. We don't go stop there, Mike. As Oscar said, we were apparently an ancient civilization in a long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Literally, that's what
it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars
mixed with Terminator and the Matrix.
So we had, in that galaxy far, far away, we had a super intelligence that was all peaceful and helped every asset of the ancient race's lives until it went rogue and killed everyone.
There you go. I'm gonna put this for Mike.
Yeah, the space bees went rogue. Look, that's his AI.
There you go. I'm just gonna let this one little moment in the cast just
shimmery and shit.
Yeah, because it's an AI projection.
It's the digital effects I use for our memes sometimes. That's what that is.
Yeah. Look at my face. So it's showing him the past. That's ancient humans. Ancient humans. Long ago in the galaxy.
They have a halo structure.
They have a halo ring, Mike.
Because they stole it. Because Roland Emmerich's like, hey, you know what
I
video
didn't
game
steal
I
enough.
like?
Yeah, I love Halo.
Halo.
I didn't steal the Halo ring yet, so I'll do that.
Or
Don't tell me this fucking.
what did Andrew say? Elysium.
Don't tell me this fucking stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
There
Halo.
is.
It's a Halo.
literally Halo.
It's Halo or Elysium.
Oh, we were joking. It's like,
And not only that, it's literally the Matrix where, hey, we did all this because of AI, and guess what?
And the
Our
AI
AI
turned on
turned against us. By the way, guys, this is a movie about the moon,
Yeah.
not
No. What are you talking about? Clearly, this is where the movie was headed.
no,
Going into
no. And this
Yeah.
is why the debate of boring versus cringe comes up, because this is so cringeworthy. Where
It's
at
kind of
least
half and half this movie.
it is. That's the thing. Like, it was boring, but when we got some
Now it's
payoff with cringe, we were just like, I mean, granted, all of us, including because our roommate Andrew was here too, and he was
watching.
rolling our eyes back at all this shit that was happening.
So this is the AI going rogue, turning into the space beast.
Which, by the way, considering the Matrix, tell me that the space beasts don't look like the Squiddies from Matrix.
When they make their form,
Yeah, it's Squiddies.
So the Squiddies, each person has a little AI pyramid in their house that like probably runs the whole house.
So if you guys have Alexa,
and they just
get that
turn
shit
into
out of your
space
house.
beast and then killed you. And yet the humans tried to fight back, and yet their big plan was to make these basically arc structures to go out into the planet. But the AI killed everyone except for one arc structure, which is our moon, which then escaped. But the only reason it could escape is because there was no actual life on it. It was just the blueprints of our genetic code and DNA. That's why the AI didn't go after it, because it didn't see any human life in it. So it let it escape. But then billions of years later, when it made our Earth and did all of that, and then we became humans,
by the way,
sensed us and then came after us to see if we were actually intelligent life.
By the way, this
That's
is
the plot.
this. They introduced this a half hour before the movie finishes. There's an hour and a half of
Well, that's
bullshit,
the moon, Mike.
and that's our moon.
Right.
That's our moon right there,
That's our moon right there.
and it gets sent off.
Look at Mike's.
And look, and it's a Death Star. It's literally a Death Star.
You don't see the problem. It's the Death Star moon. It lets it escape.
Oh, there comes the Squiddies.
The Squiddies let it escape because it doesn't have intelligent life on it. So it's just electrical systems, but no intelligent life. That it had to be empty, Mike. No humans on it.
Oh, because they have to fill in the plot holes.
Yes.
That's why.
So
And
why the
this
thing
movie
would just destroy it anyways. This AI is smart, but also very dumb.
and very stupid.
Yeah.
I love how Mike is just destroyed
Mike
after
is
this.
Just destroyed, and he's watching.
I'm a wreck right
And it's he only saw the little bit. He's seeing highlights right now.
Sparknotes version
See, look,
of the movie.
tell me that's not
So
Titan
that's-
8.
Yeah, so that's how it's creating it. It spins the meteorites and asteroids into the Earth, makes it super hot, then waits for it to cool, and waits for it to make an atmosphere, and then it seeds our planet with humans.
Which I'm convinced they got these shots from that Noah movie that fucking that Darren Aronofsky made.
So that's see, Mike.
Oh, now it's Prometheus.
Yeah, clearly that's how it is. The engineers.
The engineers, because
Okay, Mike's face.
the Earth that was made by the moon, and then the moon jizzed on the Earth, and then
2 years later, when we get to 2011, then the AI shows up and is like, "What's going on this planet?
And
There not be intelligent life on here."
or I swear to God.
Or I'll start.
Well, here's the thing, where it's like, and they do try to explain it, but they were like, wait, so why didn't the Squiddy come down to Earth and just fuck up the Earth instead of going after the moon? But they're saying, hey, look, the Earth, this moon structure can make more life.
Yeah.
So we have to kill the moon.
Kill the moon first. That's
and then they drag the moon to the Earth so we can kill the Earth too.
So take two birds with one stone.
That's the one thing you got right, Roland Emmerich. That kill the two. That's the one thing.
I mean, it could do both, but there's only one swarm.
God, I just hearing you explain this to me tired.
Because it's hard.
This is only a small swarm, Mike. He's getting boosted up, and Mike, this is only a small swarm. Granted, there's still billions of swarms out in the universe,
and within the 10 years that this swarm found the Earth, they couldn't get another swarm to come in and make this whole big epic battle or something. You know what I mean?
This is the last one. There's nothing else.
There's nothing exactly.
This only purpose is to kill intelligent human life, and yet It didn't send the whole armada.
Right? Like, come on, man. Like, it's fucking. This AI from the past is stupid as fuck. The Terminators and the Matrix would have killed us immediately.
Killing other aliens for no reason.
Well, you know what? We're never gonna find out because there's never a sequel.
Oh, God. So they go back to their ship and look, Mike. The AI helped them out. It reprinted them on an entirely new ship, just because it can do that.
Fucking Andrew was comparing this to Galaga the whole time because it's literally you get upgrades.
They get an entirely new ship. Why didn't it do that before? Or like we were saying as we were watching it, why didn't it contact Earth and like help me or let me try to help you?
Like it's the moon. It's designed to protect the Earth, and yet, number one, it allowed itself to destroy the Earth.
We have the technology apparently to hurt the space bees. The EMP works. Jumping ahead a little, the EMP
and you know what's insane too? It's like it's almost like the aliens didn't think like, hey, why did we put protective crust around the Earth? I mean, the moon. Yeah. So in case it happened, it would destroy the planet it creates. Like, because Casey was saying they have the crust of the moon to protect the metal structure underneath. Yeah. And it's like
the metal structure doesn't need protecting.
No, it doesn't.
It couldn't get in.
It couldn't get in. Yeah, it drilled most of that drilling it did for 10 years was rock, and then the rest was the metal it had to get through.
Still couldn't get through. And
no,
like it would still take a while to get through.
And in the 10 years, it did not get any backup.
Nope.
Because
doesn't need it.
Like he could have suffocated the star. Crashed the moon while these other swarms killed the rest of humanity. Made sure nothing was left.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That would make sense.
That would make sense. Oh man! And
so they hightail it out of there, but they're like, we're gonna need a distraction. It's because we can't just set off the EMP. So I'm gonna go into the rover and set it off from there, and you guys get out. Because if we do, we're all just dying.
Because in every disaster movie, someone has to sacrifice himself.
Yep. It has to be a noble sacrifice.
Yep.
Of course, you think Brian's going to do it, but then Casey runs there first because he can just get there first and know how to work the system.
Oh, yeah, because it's simple. You press a button.
Press the button. So he's like, don't do it, Casey. He's like, don't worry. It's like, everyone thought it was a joke except for you, Brian. But it's like, you're not a joke. You're a hero. You didn't kill your friend. You saved everyone.
It's a whole anime speech.
And he's saying this as the presence is right there, and we're like, you gotta wrap it up because it's behind you.
15 seconds before the thing fucking kills all of you.
Yes. And so he finally detaches. The AI presence wraps around him and breaks into the thing, and he sets off the EMP.
But you know what's fucked up? So in the beginning, you see those astronauts get fucking murked immediately.
This presence just waits
comes in,
you now.
It creates itself, shows itself, and it's like facing off with Casey.
Yes.
And then Casey's like, and it doesn't kill Casey. It doesn't kill the machine that's about to kill it.
Like, look how close the moon is to the planet. Right?
Oh,
it's over. It's over at that point.
First of all of this would be just white.
By the way, this is New York because New York has to get killed in every movie.
Roland does not like New York.
That's the Empire State Building right there.
You see when Neo flies down a street in the Matrix, everything is destroyed.
This
is skimming the Earth's surface. It's just going to be a wall of wind and
fire. Yeah, it's just going to be a wall of wind and fire.
The Earth is done. All those people in Manhattan are gone.
No, they're dead.
They're dead. They're all gone.
Billions dead.
Everyone's in Colorado. They're fine.
That's what.
Thank you.
That's exactly what
thank you. I literally said that. Everybody moves to Colorado because apparently Colorado is the safe place to go for disaster movies.
You're in danger. Go to Colorado.
Seriously, that's really what the message is in this movie.
So stupid.
Because here's the thing too. It's like we were talking about the whole space thing that's happening. By the way, there's still the family plot that's happening
because they're trying to get to the base, and the stepdad's oxygen tank or the daughter's oxygen tank goes out.
Yep.
And he gives him. I think he
gives it to the daughter.
And he's like,
Michael Pena, that's in there for a grand total of 5 minutes in the movie.
8 minutes in
the movie.
And he's like, Michael Pena's like, go, because he's like, Daddy, what about you? He's like, you go, keep walking, left, right. And she doesn't even look back once. She just goes, and he just slumps
Selfish
over.
kid. Fuck that kid.
Yeah, and he just slumps over and slowly loses air.
Yeah, and he dies. And the egregious thing in this.
Well, he was going to die either way.
Well, yeah, you can't have the person of color survivor.
No, it's like once we see what happens, the ex-husband is holding off the entire war chest, the military operations
from launching
nukes, which is completely wholly stupid at this point to launch a nuke this close.
Maybe it was like,
Oscar's favorite line is coming up. So the son was gonna go back to help his stepdad. And because he's like, where is he? He's like, oh, I thought he was right behind me. So he's like, I'm gonna go back. And yet at this point, gravity's completely screwed. Completely, just like everyone is flying into the air, 100 feet into the air from gravity wells. You should all be dead, but he gets like thrown back, and a tree falls on him. And then the au pair,
which should have killed him, by the way,
should have killed him, crushed him.
It's a big ass tree.
She tries to get to him and tries to pull the tree off of him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, what are you doing? This tree's not going to get off of me. And then she says Oscar's favorite line in the movie.
The moon will help us.
The moon will help us.
Because the moon is skimming across. And Mike, you mentioned, hey, what if the moon like touches a mountain or something? Guess what? The moon skims so close it hits the mountains.
Hits the Rockies and starts tearing up the Rockies.
But yet the moon is helping them because the gravity well is bringing them up. So it lifts
gravity with the Earth's gravity, even though they should just destroy everything.
It lifts the tree and then allows
her to get them out.
The guy and the girl to run away. Which, by the way, if the tree's lifted, why aren't they floating?
They should be. They would be crushed.
They would be floating, crushed.
Two gravitational forces,
and there's no air. Because here's the thing too, which was funny. Michael Pena's character dies because he loses air, and literally 5 minutes later, when the daughter gets back, air comes back.
Oh yeah, they said the air's coming back.
That doesn't make sense.
They need an excuse for the son to run out there because his oxygen tank's done. So they need an excuse for him to run back out to go look for the stepdad.
Why is he in a car in the back?
Oh, he's in the rover. Yeah, he's sacrificing himself.
He put the EMP in the rover. He's sacrificing himself.
Because
Mike's watching a little before.
They couldn't just have a fucking remote.
Oh no, he crushed it because he thought that
because
the electronics was attracting the
space speed.
Yeah,
so you have to crush the detonator. So you have to do it manually now. Of course, like every disaster thing. So look what it does. Like it wraps around this entire thing instead of just crushing him immediately. It goes in, sucks in, waits, and then forms itself again.
Like in the Matrix.
Before it killed those astronauts instantly. But this guy
doesn't kill him, doesn't kill the detonator.
Nope. He's like, you underestimated us.
Because he has to have a line.
Lets him press the button. He's like, no. That's literally the bees basically.
Yeah, it basically goes, no.
Don't do it. So,
because it's like
this is how holy stupid it is. I forgot.
Oh fuck this! Fuck this!
Like that's how. Because remember, look how close the moon is. That's the moon, and guess where they are?
Hold on, you saw the trees getting ripped out.
Look, this is the scene I was talking about. The moon
will help us, Mike. And the moon, what helps them lift the tree up? And look,
it's hitting a mountain.
Look at it. Mike's just done. Mike's face is just
like literally the entire base is destroyed now. Everyone in Cheyenne Mountain's dead. They're dead.
The husband's crushed. Everyone's crushed.
There are ships.
So much for Colorado protecting us. The husband and everyone dies, and it's just like so breezed past at the end. We didn't even realize the first time watching.
This is even more. Look,
so
they use the gravity to jump.
That now is helping them to jump and make it into the tunnel.
Because, by the way, the fact that they were buried under Cheyenne Mountain get destroyed but a tunnel saves this family.
They weren't crushed.
They weren't crushed. They just got dusted
Everyone
a little bit.
Deeper into the mountain were crushed, but they are fine. But look at where they get ejected from, Mike, because they're so close to the planet now that they just literally land in Colorado.
In Colorado.
Convenient.
Halle Berry and Brian both land back in Colorado. They were able to launch
they landed right
parachutes.
There. Yeah, they were able to launch.
Why is the moon going back up?
Because they fixed it, Mike. It's over. They fixed it.
They killed the AI, and the moon can now bring it.
Oh, look. Now it's just raining gravel.
Gravel lane. big chunks. It should be that whole place. It would be more than a crater.
It's literally that meme. Like the
scorched,
problem is over.
Like you hear the term "scorched earth." This is literally
everyone's dead. Like I would not be surprised if they had a sequel to this, and literally it was just those five people that have to repopulate the earth.
10 people left. It's just that family and the au pair and a few helicopter pilots.
It's worse than the ending of Snowpiercer. Like it's terrible.
That's what we said. That's exactly what you say. Everything Oscar said. Phones are
all the satellites should be gone.
They're still satellites.
Gone.
They're all fried.
They're fried.
Even if they weren't fried, they would be crushed.
There was a scene where one of the satellites just gets fucking destroyed.
Yeah, we saw one satellite get completely obliterated. It's literally raining meteors onto the planet. There is no reception. There's no nothing. But look where the Chrysler ended up, like in Colorado.
Because fuck this.
Because
fuck this movie.
That's how far it went. Everyone's dead. Everyone is dead.
And by the way, it's just like I love how like Brian's like,
look how calm they are compared to
sleepwalking, dude.
Sleepwalking.
You know why? Because they're in an entire green screen right now. None of this is there.
Like, even the set director or the director should be like setting the scene like billions are dead, and you guys are just wholly lucky to somehow be alive. You guys literally ejected from the moon on a small.
Not questioning it either.
Not questioning it.
Like you're like,
oh
wow,
to Earth in seconds. It's just like, oh look, it's a Chrysler building. They literally just said it like that, like not. Oh my God, New York is gone.
And also, like we were saying this before when we were watching this, so they have a beacon that sends out. Who is sending a chopper for them?
Yeah.
Everyone's dead.
Everyone's crushed. Her husband's dead.
The entire government infrastructure is gone.
Yes. So these two helicopter pilots come, and we thought it was coming to pick them up, but they're already in it.
They're already in it to pick up the family. So how did they know where the family was?
Yeah, and they're in new clothes. They're fine. Everyone's hugging like it's, oh, yeah, we're back. We're good.
The people that are left hugging.
All five people that are left.
We never made it to Dad. Your dad's dead.
Your dad said, thank you, Chinese au pair.
Yeah.
We will now be lesbian lovers after this. I mean, not for nothing. That'd be hot.
Can anybody drop me off at home?
Yeah, I hope. They're sort of set. Look at his face. His face is like this. He's like, not like, because they're like, the girls just realized their dad's dead. And he's like,
just now they realized it.
That.
Like we just saw the moon scrape a mountain. Dad's not making it home.
Not making it.
And it's just everyone is so deadpan.
Everyone's so deadpan.
And the one guy that was
the moon looks like now. I'm like, look, that's the moon
now.
It's
the Death Star with Saturn rings.
Saturn rings.
Which, by the way, if it's still that close,
and it's that close, that's
we're still fucked.
Yeah.
Like I don't know,
like how big the moon is. But this is the stinger at the end.
The fact this movie has a stinger,
it's
dude.
Pretty Prince, GKC back to life.
Wait, where's the line? Where's the line? It's coming up.
It doesn't even make sense because it didn't scan Casey. It scanned Brian.
No, it scanned all of them.
It did scan all of them?
You see it?
No, you're right.
Don't make me defend this. Don't make me defend this.
You're right. It scanned all of them.
It scanned all of them.
Because you can just scan someone's consciousness and entire being.
Fuzz Aldrin. Best name for a cat in this kind of a movie.
Buzz Aldrin's probably dead too. I just realized.
Are you kidding me? He says, "Take care of my mom." Your mom is dead. Everyone is dead. Your cat, dead.
Am I still alive? We scanned your consciousness because we can do that.
You're part of the moon now.
Best line. The moon will help us, and
you're part of the moon now.
Can't change
and then I'll even say the not.
That's what Mike. We didn't even think of it. It's like, can I change my clothes?
No. When you print, jerking off, he's like, we see everything. It's like, oh fuck, can you just kill me?
Can you at least make me a hot ass digital wife?
It was like you scanned Halle Berry. Can you make a digital Halle Berry?
He's like, Halle Berry. Why not?
And then Halle Berry comes back and just like, why did you make a digital version of me? What are you doing with that version of me? Why is she in a cat girl outfit?
And
that-
cat girl, we TM,
Oh.
Catwoman.
And you know what's fucked up? So me and Carl are about to get into it, but
Yeah,
they
Moonfall
insinuate
sequel.
that they wanted a sequel for this because he's digitally printed back into the consciousness
Yes.
of the moon, and
But
then they go
the moon AI, which is his mom now, because that's like something
contact.
he
It's
loves.
contact.
Yeah, and she's like, "But we're not done. We're just getting started. We're just getting started."
It's like getting
Because-
started on what, and then it just cuts the credits,
Cuts the credits.
insinuating they were gonna do a whole nother thing, probably with the Galactic
Yeah,
War.
because there's a galactic war still going on.
Which, by the way, I feel like Roland Emmerich only did that because he tried doing that for Independence Day Resurgence,
yes,
and it didn't pan out. So it's like maybe this one will do it.
I don't know. Watch you. Like a day or two after this, we're gonna get announced Moonfall 2.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not. No. I'm gonna say this because you know what? We gave Nukem High a dumpster fire.
What is this? This is a huge dumpster fire. Especially
I
no. You'll give your rating after you guess the budget.
oh shit, we didn't play what's that
Yeah.
budget.
Yes.
Okay, so I
We're
think
at
we
the end.
broke it down already before, but
I broke it down, but
I'm
you guys
hammered
were
right now,
close.
so
Not,
yeah,
you
I'm
didn't get it.
already hammered right now. So I'm gonna go with. It's so cheap looking though. 80 million.
$150 million.
Fuck you, Roland Emmerich. Fuck you, man. Like,
Uh,
how the
most
fuck? Because you.
expensive independently produced film ever made. One of the most.
That's insane. And also, not only that, I'm like, so Roland Emmerich, how the fuck did you swindle companies out of this fuck? Wait, hold on. What's the box office?
Guess the box office. Tragic, I know.
$1 million.
That would be completely terrible. 67.3 million.
60. Oh, you know why? Chinese.
Yeah.
Because they had a Chinese company help produce this,
Yes.
and they also had a Chinese actress in this.
Yes.
Which, by the way, Carl was very disappointed with her arc. She
She
thought that she was going to be like a Chinese spy.
Yes, that wanted to stop their mission and keep the son hostage or something, and the other son had to save.
Carl, that would take some thought.
That would be something.
That would be something interesting that would happen, and that's not a thing.
Something. The only interesting stuff is what Oscar said, which made it wholly worse.
Way worse. The whole Star Wars angle was terrible.
The moon literally scraping the mountains of Colorado.
Moon scraper.
That's what
Oh
it
my
was.
god.
They should have just called this moon scraper.
That sounds bad.
Jesus, but like, what? So what did it make?
67 million back. So not even half. It's
Because here's the thing, that's with the Chinese market, and you know
Oh
what's
my
fucked
God.
up? The Chinese. I'm not saying this like. I'm not saying anything bad about the Chinese, but they are way more open to crazy shit like this.
They love space. They love all this stuff. So they know the market. They're like.
Like I watched that one movie. Was it The Wall?
Yeah. Oh, with Matthew.
Crazy,
Matt Damon.
stupid movie.
That was hilarious.
But it did so well over there in
Yeah.
Asia and overseas.
A lot of these movies will make bank when you put it overseas for some reason.
But for this,
And even this didn't make
but
bank.
dude, that's what's fucked up because it's like, listen, you even went overseas, you didn't get your money back, and you're not getting a sequel. So sorry, Sam, you're not getting your sequel coming back. But no, this was because here's the thing: like when you compare it to Nukem High or something that's boring and also kind of cringe. It's still a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire.
That's a dumpster fire.
If you're curious about watching this, go on Tubi. Do not pay for this.
It's like what we just had a debate. It's like that terrible middle where it is boring, but also super cringe.
Yes, especially since it rips off not only his own movies, but other movies. Like I said, it was The Matrix and Terminator by the end of this.
Oh, it rips off Independence Day, Terminator,
Yes,
Matrix,
Independence Day.
Star Wars. It's like the cliches of all of them. Burnt out, down on his luck, main protagonist. Beautiful secondary main protagonist. the conspiracy.
Which they
nut.
don't say that they hook up, but
Conspiracy-
by the end they
It's
definitely
kind of
hook up.
hinted at.
It's
Like,
hinted
yeah,
at, hey, we're
we're
gonna
both
be
divorced, and your ex is dead anyways.
yeah, your ex is dead. Both of your exes are probably dead.
No, the mom's still
Oh,
alive.
the mom's still alive.
but they're probably not getting.
Oh yeah. By the way, I love how in this whole movie he was caring about his son. He didn't give a fuck about the wife
Or the daughter.
or the daughter.
Their daughters aren't his, but the wife, he didn't
he
care.
didn't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, their marriage. Was,
That Temu version Emily Blunt they put in this shit.
That's what he saw. She doesn't do much anyways.
No, she
it's
doesn't.
just all about the son.
It is.
They could have just killed all
And the
of them
son
all.
sucked, that Scandinavian looking fuck.
Wow.
It's very when you look at him, I kept seeing that the fucking the community thing. He's like, what are you? Scandinavian? You have a prominent brow.
That's what he said when he first saw the son.
I apologize, Charlie Plummer, but you have a prominent brow.
But yeah, that's Moonfall. Give us Moonfall 2, roll.
Oh yeah, now we have to spin for the next movie.
Oh, Moonfall.
All right, so we did. All right, so for what's our review? Dumpster fire.
100%.
100%.
It's not Kill Me Now. Definitely
No.
Past rotten.
Oh
It's bad.
fuck! You know what?
We lost.
Now that I might retro review the fucking Nukem High. I think it might be a Kill Me Now.
Kill Me Now for Nukem because holy
No.
We
They
didn't
had,
even finish the second one, and we finished some really bad movies. You couldn't even be bothered to finish it.
okay, if we were gonna do a
Out
series,
of all the movies we've done, he's never been like, "We're not doing this. This is too painful." He said that for Nukem High. He's like, "I'm not doing this."
all right, I'll say if we're gonna do for series, because I didn't even finish the series. Kill Me Now. If for the movie, it's a dumpster fire
It's a dumpster.
because we did have fun riffing on the 3 parts we
The
liked.
3 parts. The random 3
All right,
parts.
but let's see what we get for this one.
Give me something good.
No, you pulled the longest one. You fuck. Oh my god. I put single movies on it. You got the one. So guess what, guys? We haven't done this on Good Up Nerds, and we're doing it on Good Up Side. We're doing the Leprechaun series.
Oh my god.
Oh, you killed us, Carl.
Back to the Hood.
That might be one of the better ones.
Oh,
There's
shit.
Two,
Oh, shit.
I've seen up until Leprechaun in Space.
There's 2 leprechauns from the hood.
There's 2 leprechauns from the
No,
hood.
no. Well, there's Back to the Hood. There's Leprechaun.
Leprechaun in the hood and Leprechaun.
I know we
Back to
watched
the
one
Hood.
of them in the basement.
Oh yes, we did. I think we might watch both. But there's one in space, which is insane.
Oh
Yes.
my
It
god.
gets really big.
Ever since we were kids, like every horror movie, we were like, has to go to space now. You need a.
Chucky's gonna be in space soon. I'm convinced.
Oh, in space.
That's gonna be.
When they finally get funding for it again, it's gonna be in space. But yeah, we're doing the Leprechaun series for our next. I'm gonna say 2 reviews because I don't know if we could do it in one.
We could. Well.
No, I don't know, man. Once we get to Leprechaun from the Hood, it's gonna be too much to talk about. But thank you to anyone that's watching this. We appreciate y'all.
Peace.
We are going to be out of here because Jesus fucking Christ. Actually, 2 hours for
Yeah, it's actually not.
That's actually pretty good for us.
Honestly.